All right, so I have 10 minutes to try to change your paradigm on the world and try to help your company be better. I know you're not here to see me, you're not here to hear about my company, you're here to take something back to your company and make it better. So my name is Rich Slack, I'm the Chief Financial and Marketing Officer of Chrysalis. I know those things sound at odds, but it works. I'm also the founder and CEO of a company called Meridian Meds. It's a pharmacy, closed-door pharmacy. Let me give you a brief use case just so you can put into context what I'm going to show you in our demo. So Chrysalis provides services across Utah, Nevada, and Texas. We have 15 geographic areas. It's 21 office leases, and so we need to track all those leases, when renewal rates are coming up, what is the new renewal, what is the security deposit, and how do we get that back. We help people with intellectual disabilities. They have an IQ of 70 or less. They have mental retardation, traumatic brain injury, autism, Prader-Willi syndrome. We provide 24-hour care, 365 days a year of these individuals. We help them go shopping, learn skills, do everything they need to. We help anybody from 9 years old up through Jack. Jack here was 92 when he passed away. He passed away a couple months ago. Very cool story on our website. You can check it out if you want to. They actually named a baseball field after him. There's really good community integration. We also help people like Austin. Austin is in our services, and we help him. He lives with his family, but we can go in and then help him take him to day programs, let his family have a break, teach skills, stuff like that. So for people like Jack, in our system, we need to track their contacts. We need to track their contract, their state funding that we get, what services are we supposed to provide, and then the billing that goes against that contract. We need to track their doctors, their doctor appointments, all their prescriptions, when they take them, what they are. We need to track their insurance. Are they on a primary, do they have a primary insurance, or is it Medicaid or Medicare? We have to track their Social Security income, how much money they have, we're the representative payee. So there's tons of data that we're tracking on each and every client. All the to-dos and tasks associated with helping a client live in the community. We also have 250 homes spread out across Utah, Nevada, and Texas. That's 250 additional leases, 250 lease renewals. Each home has 3 or 4 utilities, so we have 1,000 utilities that we're paying and then dividing it by the people in the house. So a very complex business structure that we're dealing with. And we also have 100 vehicles, scheduling of those vehicles, who's taking what where, who's going to the doctors, who's going to the therapist, and so there's a lot of stuff that we have to keep track of as we do our stuff. So our challenge is we had a homemade platform. It was built on .nuke, and we're dealing with social workers, right? And so we need to have something that engages people into the platform. So this is our old platform, and it's engaging, has little icons, that type of stuff. But the problem was it was end of life. It no longer was supported with security. We couldn't keep up with HIPAA. And then our developer, who was a sole developer, who was very good, now goes back into active duty military, and so now I have a ticking time bomb in a very nice air-conditioned facility that's about to blow up and ruin our company, right? And so what do? So we start Googling around trying to find a system, and we come up with Salesforce. And just like Mick had showed you, there you can get in and you can set up a developer org. So I set up a developer org and I started going in there and I'm click. I'm like, hey, I got a name. Click, Social Security number, boom, right? And I'm starting to do it. I'm doing it declaratively. This is awesome. But then I show it to my people and they're like, because it's a long scrolling list, right? Anybody have that issue? Right? I get an amen. There you go. So the functionality was there in spades, but the UI wasn't. And so we're like, okay. And so there wasn't the chemistry with our data. And when we're dealing with people, when we're dealing with houses, when we're dealing with prescriptions and data, we need to have that people-centric feel or we lose something, right? We still need to be caring for people. And so what we did, we came to Dreamforce in 2012. We saw some cool websites, some cool apps, and we're like, yeah, Dreamforce, woo! Right? Yeah. We're excited. Look what we can do. And so we negotiated with Salesforce, and the pricing for Salesforce was very affordable, fit within the budget. Now we said, okay, tell me about the user interface. Well, they hooked us up with a private developer that was, very good. $300,000 to $500,000 to build out our user interface. Non-starter, right? I'm dealing with people, with individuals with disabilities like Jack. That money needs to go to help Jack. That money needs to go help other things, have a limited budget. And so what do? Depression set in. It's horrible. So we killed Salesforce. We said no more Salesforce. We went out, found another platform, found a team of developers that would develop on it, and from December 20th, 2012 is when we first engaged them till January 11th, 2014, they worked on building us our new platform. And we had a couple meetings, they had a couple restarts, and we're sitting there and they're having trouble getting the calendar working. And I'm like, this isn't gonna work. But when you're stuck in that position, you're not saying, this isn't gonna work. You're like, they'll get it. They'll get it. Oh, we hope they get it. They better get it, right? And you're at the mercy of the developers. And I'm like, ah! And so finally we started talking to them about permission sets and roles, and they said, oh yeah, each of your users, we have 1,600 employees spread across Utah, Nevada, and Texas. 360 of them will be on the platform in the beginning. And we're like, they told us that we had to individually set up their security profiles. Each person, not a profile, not a permission set, each person. We're like, no, we're screwed, right? And so I'm like, oh, Salesforce can do it if we can overcome the gap of the user interface and showing whatever we want to see. So I start Googling around on the website. I'm like, no, man, is there anything? It's been 2 years now, right? It's been a year later. And finally I come and I realize I'm going the wrong way. And so I'm like, we got to do something. And depression sets in again. And finally I've come across this website. It's called Skuid. And I watch a 1 minute and 30-second video, and the whole time I'm smiling from ear to ear. And I'm like, I did something good in this life because I've just been blessed big time. So I have this developer org, right, that already has all the fields in it, has this information, and Skuid allows you to plug in to your developer org for free and develop whatever you want into their platform to test it, to see. So I'm like, all right. So I plugged it in that night, and I have 3 jobs, right? I'm finance, marketing, I'm running a pharmacy, so I don't have time. So from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. every night, I'm starting to dig in here and see what I can do, Within 2 days, I had already reskinned all my stuff and had a beautiful user interface. Because these are the type of things I can do. These are the types of things I needed. Tab sets, calendars on the person, calendars on the houses, calendars on the vehicles, specific to the house, buttons, records, all this stuff, right? Images that are easy to add so I can add their person's profile picture right away, right? I don't want to settle anymore. I want beautiful UIs for my people. I've heard that I need to correct a fallacy that people have. I've talked to a couple people, and they say, well, it's for internal users. It doesn't need to look good. Bull crap! Bull, right? There's something called internal marketing. When you're engaging your employees, you're trying to get them in on your vision, in on your dream. And if they're happy to be in your user interface, they're more likely to do cool things in the user interface. They're more likely to have pride in your company. But I get it. If it costs $300 or $500,000 to get UI for your internal, absolutely. Yep, they can deal with ugly. But if we can get it, but we shouldn't have the paradigm that we can't have good user interface. It should be, can we afford user interface? And if it's there, we should give it to them. So anyway, I looked at all this stuff, plugged it in, looked at their tutorials. Within 2 days, I'd reskinned my whole thing. I'm like, oh, okay, now we're cooking. So I presented it to our team, and they said the same thing. So I actually brought the developers in. We did a webinar, because they were out of Idaho. And I said, this is what we've come up with. Because they did their demo, and then I showed them our demo. I'm like, whoa, how'd you do that? Who did that? I said, I did. And they said, you're a CFO. I said, yep. When did you do it? At night. They said, we've had Salesforce people. It's never looked like this. I don't know. It is. So anyway, with the power and functionality of Salesforce with the overlay of Skuid, I was able to develop some cool stuff. So I scrapped my developer org, set up a whole brand new org, reprogrammed all the stuff in it, threw Skuid on over the top of it, and by May 10th, working from 10 to 2, I had rebuilt our whole system. And it's beautiful, it's functional. Now we have Chatter engaged with it, and it's cool stuff. So let me show you what I did. And I'm not a programmer. I'm not a developer. Oh, I got kicked out. I've set the high bar that's really high, huh? That's not mine. Okay, so we have houses. I told you that. So here's our houses, because 3 to 4 individuals live in each house. And so in the houses, I'm going to be tracking, so here's our list view. If I had more areas for the corporate office, I could actually click here and I'd see all the different areas. And so they'd show up there. I can filter, I can show by residential houses, by different types of houses. And so I can do all that type of stuff. I can also search. Watch this. Instead of a list view, I want pictures. There's all my houses. Oh, I know what those are. Those are actually houses. It's not data anymore, right? If I click into house 1, I can go into my house. And in each house, there is a client. Oh, look. There's the 3 clients at the bottom. That's a related object on the same page. I'm not a developer. It's cool stuff. Right? Down here, I got the address. The address is automatically, I put it in, I can Google Map it. I can put those same buttons you have on your Salesforce UI in here, put a little icon, some eye candy, right? So people are glad to be there. I can go over appointments. So this is all the appointments for the house. So I have a custom calendar for that house that aggregates the data of the 3 clients that are in that house and shows all the events, all the doctor's appointments, anything for that person for that house. I look at that house, I know where they're going, all 3 of them. So then I can schedule it better, right? So here I have a podiatrist appointment for Porter Adams. Here I have one for Marcus Jones. Here's John Doe. Those are my people in my home. I can track my utilities. Notice the tab interface. This is all on the account, these different fields. But when you go to your file, you're not, if I'm looking for utilities, then I want to see them in utilities, but I'm not going to be looking for utilities every day. So I want to kind of put those away. And when you need them, you go click on them, right? Same thing with leases. We have house inspections. So there's some cool stuff. Let me hurry and click back into the clients. So the same thing can be done for the client level. Is I could have clicked on one of those pictures to go into my client. But so here's all my clients, here's their ages, birthdates. If I need another field, I just go in. I don't call my developer to do it. I just go over to here, click, 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 and now I have another field in that column. So here I got pictures. So here's the pictures of all my clients in all the different homes. So I'm going to jump into Porter real quick. I only have like a minute. So if I jump into Porter, then for Porter, I have a lot of data I need to track, right? So here's his general information. Here's the stuff that's responsible for him. Notice that the picture stays up the whole time, because if I'm looking at his medical profile, I want to still know I'm looking at Porter. If I click on his transfers, I can use a flow. This is a flow right here. So I could actually click through here and transfer Porter to a different home, which is automatically creating a line or a record on a different object called transfers, and then also changing some fields. So using flows, I can transfer Porter to a different house. Oh, the mouse is really hard. Oop. There we go. Oh. It's one of those finger mouses. Okay, so let's skip that. But using Visual Flow, you can do that. Here's all the medical stuff. So the medical department goes into the medical tab. And notice this is loading when I click on it. So I'm not getting I'm not getting a speed hit by going in here. So here I have all the information. I have prescriptions. I have the medical appointments coming up. But I can also click Print Medical Forms. And from this, it's going to use Conga Composer, take all those prescriptions, create a doctor sheet. So when I go to the doctors, it has all his age, social security numbers, all that information in there so that we can show the doctors what about this person, right? All the information they need to go through a doctor appointment. Let's open that real quick. So I have a custom form with Conga. Again, they helped me set this up. So now I have this cool medical appointment form, right? Here's his name, date of birth, here's his age, social security numbers, here's all the medications that are current, and so I can do all these cool things, and again, I'm not a developer. I track all the tasks, all the contacts, the billing. Do I have one more minute?
Yeah, sure.
Are you sure? Okay, really cool stuff. So on a contract, I can actually create a contract, and then on the billing's hard, right? Because I have to click on a person, I have to pick what I'm billing for. So this, down the left-hand side, is a queue. So this is anybody that has an open line item for this billing area, or they're open for an absence or whatever. If I click on the person, it automatically loads them into the right side, loads their data in, and then I can hit the plus button here, and then I can say, oh, the absence was on the 2nd to the 4th. The absence reason was because he was home with his family. I can hit save, and now I have a queue that auto loads information, so I don't have to go click, 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 click. All I have to do is walk down this list. And so now I'm going to do Aaron. I'm going to click on Aaron's name. His stuff is loaded into the queue. Aaron Appleby, his contract dates. So now I'm billing against that contract in an easy to use way. It's cool stuff. I'll stop there. There's other things in here, but I was able to do it between January and August. I've already put my people in, run them for beta for 2 months, and I'm not a developer. 8 months working from 10 to 2 in the morning, not every day, and I have this beautiful user interface, beautiful functionality. And so this is the new power of Salesforce. This is what you can do if you dig in and want to do something.